Welcome everyone to the CELPIP Listening Part 1 Problem Solving Analysis. Now I'm just here in Listening Part 1 section of the CELPIP Library. And before we get started, I do want to remind you that Listening Part 1 focuses more on CLB 4, 5, and 6. What does that mean? Well, it means that Part 1 will have easier dialogue. It will have more familiar dialogues or very common situations. And the questions and answers won't be so difficult like other parts, okay? And so, lower levels, levels 4, 5, and 6, can do better in this part, okay? And you should try to do better in part 1. As for higher levels, CLB 7 or higher, you should get everything correct in part 1 because part 1 will be very easy for you, okay? So that's what it means that this part is more focused on lower levels because it's an easier listening section, okay? Now, I also want to remind you about this really great tips and strategies video. This video will point out some tips and strategies that I will be using to complete part 1. Okay, how to listen effectively, what information to listen for, how to answer the questions better. That video will give you lots of information, lots of details about how you can prepare for part 1. So I will leave a link in the description box to that video. Okay? Everyone, let's look at today's sample for Volume 1, Bus Tickets. Well, everyone, here we are in today's sample lesson. Now, this lesson has 6 sections, okay? And it's very important to review them all so you can improve your English knowledge, okay? The first one is the video analysis, which you're watching right now. The second is vocabulary building. Now, vocabulary building is great because it selects some words that we heard in the listening, okay? And it gives you basic meanings, some synonyms, and some antonyms. And after you study the word list, we have an exercise down here where you have to complete the sentence with one of the words that you studied. This is a great exercise, everyone, to improve your vocabulary. And then after that, we have a comprehension building exercise. This exercise is great to improve your listening skills. What do we do here? Well, here we listen to a sentence.
The walls in my apartment are paper thin.
And then after you listen to that sentence, you need to read option A and option B, and you need to decide which one, A or B, is similar to the sentence that we heard. This is a great exercise to help you build your listening comprehension, okay? And then after that, we have following dialogue. Following dialogue is a great exercise to help you improve your listening skills, especially for following conversations. So we have today's conversation, and you can listen to it. And while you listen to it, you have to complete each part with a word that you heard. Very good exercise for building your listening skills. Okay, everyone? And then we have today's test practice 1, which we will do now. And then we have test practice 2, which is version 2 of this sample lesson. Okay, and I will leave that one in the description box for you to practice yourself. Okay, everyone, so let's get started with today's test practice 1. Okay, here we are, everyone. Now I'm going to let you know that we are going to complete this listening together, okay? So first, I'm going to give you a chance to do the listening yourself, okay? And you can answer the questions yourself. And then after, we will analyze the answers together, okay? And also, listening part one, problem solving, it's a 3-part conversation. First, you listen to conversation one, and you have 3 questions in this case. Then you listen to the second part of the conversation, and you have another 3 questions. And then you listen to the last part of the conversation, and we have 2 questions. So usually there's 2 or 3 questions after each part. Okay? Very good. Now, I also want to let you know that the format of our samples are a little bit different than the real exam. In the real exam, you listen to the conversation and then you have each question one by one, not all 3 together. So that is one difference, okay? And then also in the real exam, and also in our other samples, each section is timed and each question part is timed. So after you listen to the conversation, you have 20 to 25 seconds to answer the question. Okay? So today, I will be timing you while you answer the questions. Okay? Okay, everyone. And of course, very important, just a few tips to improve your listening. Tip number 1, listen to full sentences. This is very important for lower levels. Lower levels, usually you listen for words. Try to listen to full sentences so you can listen for ideas, not only words, because words can confuse you, okay? Tip number 2, let's listen and repeat as much information as you can. Okay? Repeat the information in your mind. This is important for lower levels as well, because lower levels, we have a problem sometimes with remembering the information. But if you repeat the information, it's easier for you to remember, okay? Now, also taking notes is good, but I suggest taking notes as long as you keep on listening, because lower levels, we can also have a problem with writing notes. It may not be easy for you. So I think repeating the information is better, but if you can write notes and write notes very quickly and easily, like higher levels, then you can do it. But very important, keep focusing on the listening, okay? And of course, this is part 1. This is problem solving. So we need to understand what is the problem or what was the problem and how are they going to fix it or how did they fix the problem. This is important for part 1. Okay? And the last tip is after you listen to each question, don't forget to repeat it. Okay? Okay, because we need to repeat the question. It's very important. Okay, everyone. So now let's get started with the listening, okay? Okay, and here we are. We're going to be doing test practice number 1. So everyone, I want to remind you that I'm going to be giving you a chance to listen and answer the questions yourself. So you can listen and then I'll show you the answers and you can write the answers down, okay? And then after we complete the listening, we can analyze the answers, okay? So then everyone, let's listen to section 1, okay?
Listening to problem solving. You will hear a conversation in 3 sections. You will hear each section only once. After each section, you will hear 2 or 3 questions. You will hear the questions only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Will that be all today?
Yes, that's it, thanks. Actually, do you sell transit tickets?
Sure. Do you need them for local transit or the rapid system?
I'm not sure. I live here, but I always drive. My car is in the shop today, though.
Well, rapid system tickets are only good on commuter trains and buses. Those are the ones that travel to more distant communities, like Terryville, just outside of town.
Well, I'm taking the bus to visit a friend who lives downtown, so I suppose that's local.
That's right. How many tickets would you like? We sell them in strips of 10 or 20.
I can't buy single tickets? I only need 2.
Sorry. You can buy single tickets at the station, but only multiples here. That'll be $26 for 10 plus your other items.
Well, okay then, if that's the only way you sell them.
Question 1.
What type of transit does the woman plan to take?
Question 2.
What is true about the woman?
Question 3.
What will the woman probably do next?
Okay, let's move to part 2.
Now listen to part 2.
Hi, I was just here a few minutes ago. I took a look at those transit tickets when I left the store, and they have an S on them. Doesn't that mean they're for seniors?
Actually, the transit company issues the same tickets for both seniors and students to use. The S stands for both.
Oh, the thing is, I don't actually fit into either of those categories.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You have a backpack on and you look like a lot of the university students who shop here.
A lot of people tell me that. I just have this because I'm bringing a few novels over to lend to my friend. We can never agree on what music is best, but we both like the same authors.
I see. Well, it's easy enough to exchange the tickets. Unfortunately, I'll have to charge you an extra $4. I'm very sorry.
I understand. And do you know where I can catch the number 53 bus?
Sure. When you leave the store, make a right. The stop is right there on Division Street. You can't miss it.
Question 4.
What does the man believe about the woman?
Question 5.
What does the woman say she is bringing for her friend?
Question 6.
What does the man suggest he will do?
Okay, let's go to part 3.
Now listen to part 3.
Hello. Hey, you look familiar. Would you like a plastic bag for the loaf of bread?
No, I've got a reusable cloth one with me. You remember me? I was here last week.
Yes, the customer with the school bag who I thought was a student. Did you find the bus stop?
Yes, thank you. Your directions were very helpful, and the local tickets worked out fine. Though with the traffic, it sure took a long time to get there from here.
I know what you mean. I take the bus downtown sometimes too, and it always feels like rush hour.
Question 7.
Why does the woman return to the store?
Question 8.
What did the woman bring with her into the store?
So then, everyone, okay, very good. So now, let's review the answers, okay? I'm going to go over here. Here's the script, okay? And then we're just going to start this one again. So, question 1, what type of transit does the woman plan to take? Zoom this here, okay? So, private cars, commuter trains, local transit, commuter buses. Well, if I remember correctly, she was talking about local transit. She was going downtown. Will that be all for today? Yes, that's it. Thanks. Actually, do you sell transit tickets? Sure. Do you need them for local transit or the rapid system? I'm not sure. I live here, but I always drive. My car's in the shop today, though. Well, rapid system tickets are only good on commuter trains and buses. Those are the ones that travel to more distant communities like Terryville, just outside of town. Well, I'm taking the bus to visit a friend who lives downtown. So I suppose that's local. So I think that's local. That's right. Okay. So it is local transit. Commuters are for the long distance. What about number 2? What is true about the woman? She usually drives. She doesn't like buses. Her car broke down. She doesn't commute often. Well, I think we did read that she usually drives, not doesn't like. Well, her car's in the shop. Okay, her car's in the shop. My car is in the shop. Does that mean the car broke down? We're not sure. Maybe it's just they're getting a regular service. So not that one. And I always drive, you see. Okay. So she usually drives. What about number 3? What will the woman probably do next? Take the train, take the bus, not buy 10 tickets, drive to the station. Well, I believe take the bus, right? That's right. How many tickets would you like? We sell them in strips of 10 or 20. I can't buy single tickets, I only need 2. Sorry, you can buy single tickets at the station, but only multiples here. That'll be $26 for 10 tickets plus your other items. Well, okay then, if that's the only way you sell them. Okay, so she is buying the tickets. Okay, so she's going to take the bus. What about question 4? What does the man believe about the woman? She's an older student. She studies hard. She looks older. She doesn't look her age. Okay, I remember. I think it was. She looks young, not old. I think it's she doesn't look her age. Hi, I was just here a few minutes ago. I took a look at those transit tickets when I left the store and they have an S on them. Doesn't that mean they're for seniors? Actually, the transit company issues the same tickets for both seniors and students to use. The S stands for both. The thing is, I don't actually fit either of those categories. I'm sorry, you have a backpack on and you look like a lot of the university students who shop here. A lot of people tell me that. I just have this because I'm bringing a few novels over to lend to my friend. We can never agree on what music is best, but we both like the same authors. Okay, so he thought she was a student. Not older, not studies, not older student. What does the woman say she is bringing for her friend? Well, I think she said novels or books. Novels. Not music books, no. What does the man suggest he will do? Provide the correct tickets, exchange her age, change less for the tickets, not charge her $4. I see. Well, it's easy enough to exchange the tickets. Unfortunately, I'll have to charge you an extra $4. I'm sorry. I understand. And do you know where I can catch the 53 bus? So he's going to charge her extra. So not her age, not less, not $4. So correct tickets. Provide the correct tickets. What about question 7? Why does the woman return to the store? To speak with the man for another purchase. She likes the store. She forgot her reusable bag. Okay, I think it was to buy something. Hello, hey, you look familiar. Would you like a plastic bag for the loaf of bread? No, I've got a reusable cloth one with me. You remember me, I was here last week. Yes, the customer with the school bag who I thought was a student. Did you find the bus stop? So, not to speak. So to buy the loaf of bread. Not likes, not she forgot. Okay. What did the woman bring with her into the store? So I think a cloth bag. Her backpack, a loaf of bread, her own bag, bus tickets. Her own bag. Her own bag, right? I've got a reusable one. So everyone, how did you do? Did you get 8 from 8? Okay, well, I hope you did. Now, everyone, what can we do to practice? To practice, we need to review the answers. And we need to understand why the answer is the answer, okay? And then the second thing that we can do for sure is review the script, okay? It's very important for us to read and understand the script, how ideas are expressed, and where the questions and answers are from. Very important. And vocabulary as well. We need to review vocabulary and just sentence structure, everyone. Okay? So for that, I will be leaving a link in the description box to this sample question. Okay. And you can do test practice 2. Same listening, different questions, okay? And also there's vocabulary building, comprehension building, following dialogue. Very good exercises. Also, everyone, let's not forget about CELPIP Library. Now, CELPIP Library has over 60 examples of listening part 1. And this will really help you improve your listening for part 1, especially for lower levels. We need lots of practice. So then, if you subscribe to the CELPIP library and you use discount code CELPIP79, again, discount code CELPIP79, you can get a 3-month subscription to CELPIP library for $10.99 Canadian. Now that's a really good deal. 3 months, that's over 90 days. And there are about 100 exam practice here. So you have lots of time to review all the listening, okay, everyone? So I strongly recommend you subscribe to the CELPIP library. And don't forget, practice makes perfect.